today's workshop is building on, Tracy, what we've been working on, right? So if everybody recalls, we've been asking you every time you show up, we've been reminding you the power of building a daily call list and building out the habit of prospecting. And on that path to mastery is, are you prepared? So Fish, let's throw up the poll here real quick for everybody and let's just see who's prepared. But look at that, Tracy. Almost half of the people showed up today with their daily call list of 12. That is tremendous. And then the other half hasn't. That's okay. When we break out, I'll be your guide to get you to 12. And those of you who did show up with 12 get the great fortune of breaking out into Tracy's room during your call sessions. So we're going to have some fun. But Tracy and I first are going to role play and get your wheels turning, get you into the right state of mind, and absolutely power you up for the goal of today's workshop, which is setting appointments. The goal today, the reason I said, yes, Derek, get your butt in here, is because the goal today is when we're on the phones in about 15, 10 minutes, is to set appointments today. So we're going to role play 3 hypothetical scenarios that might be very likely to be on your call list today. Tracy, the first one is you're just going to call someone in your sphere of influence and get in the practice of setting an appointment with that person. You're going to invite them to something, right? So Tracy, I'm someone in your sphere of influence. We haven't talked in a little while, and you're just going to spend a couple of minutes getting me to meet you to do something so we can sit down and talk. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm here.
Okay.
Call me.
Okay. Hey, Curtis, this is Tracy. We know each other because you coached my kids in basketball. How are you doing today?
Tracy, I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I am doing great. Hey, listen, Curtis, do you have a minute for a quick business call?
I do. I'm actually waiting on my Zoom to start. So yeah, I've got like 2 minutes.
No problem. I'll talk super, super fast. Well, as you know, I'm a real estate agent, and we've got this really cool program where every time a new home comes on the market in your subdivision, I can actually put you on a drip campaign so that you're always in the loop with what homes are selling for in your neighborhood. You can see, if your neighbors are slobs or if they keep a neat kitchen, things like that. But it's a good way for you to always keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on right
Right.
there where you live. Is that something that you think you might find beneficial?
I don't know. I use Zillow actually to kind of look.
Mhm,
I don't know that's helpful, but really I haven't paid that much attention to real estate lately,
mhm.
so I'm not sure what's going on. My
I
neighborhood's kind of interesting to me though, but I think I want to move if I move.
Oh, really? Tell me more about that. If you could go anywhere, where would you head to next, Curtis?
I probably need actually your expertise to tell me like how much
Mhm.
things cost, because I look at Zillow, but I don't know if it's real. But I'd
Okay.
move probably to a different zip code.
To a different zip code. So tell me, and then I would go into tell me more about that. How quickly do you want to be there? What's the biggest reason? What's your biggest motivation? He's already
Okay.
told me he doesn't have a lot of time. So the first thing that I want to do is get the name of the zip code he wants to live in,
Okay.
the price points that he wants to live in, and get him on that drip campaign and then schedule a follow-up meeting. If you had more time, I would go into, hey, listen, Curtis, why don't I run a quick market analysis on where you're living now? And that way you kind of know what you're looking at sales wise. Would you like me to pop that by your house, or would you rather me set up a time to actually come and present it to you, or would you rather me just email it?
I have a favorite coffee shop I go to, Tracy. Could you ever
Mhm.
just like meet me out there and show me?
Oh, oh, sure, absolutely. Would today at 4 o'clock work, or would tomorrow morning at 10 work better for your schedule?
I work there from 9 to noon, almost 3 days a week. Let's do
Perfect.
it.
I'll see you there tomorrow morning. Then that sounds perfect.
Let's go. Boom. That easy. Sphere of influence. And what's funny, team, is if you listen, they'll give you the keys to unlock what they want to do. If you actually ask about their life, where do they want to move? Where do they want to live? Where do they spend their time? Where do you drink your coffee? You're working from home these days or you're at an office? What's your schedule? You ask those kind of things, you'll absolutely open up an opportunity. It's that easy. Here's what I say, Tracy, all the time, and I think it's true. I rarely turn down an invitation. When
Right.
someone asks me, hey, Curtis, can you come by and do that? Yeah. Hey, Dad, will you come watch my play? Yeah. Right. My wife said, hey, do you want to go have lunch? Absolutely. Let me flip my schedule upside down. So you invite someone to a cup of coffee, you ask someone to meet you somewhere that's in your sphere of influence, they're quite likely to say yes. Okay, let's do another one, Tracy. This is someone expressed, it's someone and you bumped into them in person somewhere, right? A lot of you have been telling me you've been networking. You bumped into them in person and they mentioned that they're thinking about buying or they're trying to
Mhm,
figure out something going on with interest rates. They don't know.
mhm,
So
mhm.
you want to set an appointment, Tracy, for me to come sit down with you so we can talk about the home buying process.
Mhm.
So let's practice that one. Call me and get me somewhere.
Mhm. Hey, Curtis, this is Tracy. Do you have a minute for a quick business call?
Tracy.
Tracy,
Um,
we go to the same church, and I bumped into you at Starbucks last
oh
week.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy, what's up? A business call. Sure. What kind of business?
Well, of course, I'm in real estate, and you mentioned that you
Mm,
were kind of toying with the switch in the interest rates, and we've kind of finally seen a little break in that action that you were thinking about perhaps buying a different home. I'm curious, are you living in a home now, or are you looking for your first home? Tell me a little bit more
no,
about
we
where you are
own.
now.
We've
Mhm.
lived here for like 10 years. My wife and I are kind of crazy people. So once we start talking about something, we
Uh-huh.
usually just get really deep down that process. So just last week, she mentioned she thinks it's time to move. And I don't
That's
know anything
great.
about that. We haven't moved in 10 years. I don't know what's going on with rates. I don't have a
Mhm.
lender.
Mhm.
I don't even know if we're serious, but we might be serious, Tracy.
Well, here's what I can tell you, Curtis. The more time that you give me to find exactly what you're looking for, the
Mm,
more likely we are to actually find that. So the earlier we start in the process, by far, the better. And
okay.
I'm curious, where would you most like to go if you guys were to go ahead and make the decision to make some changes in your life?
We just want some land. My daughters are growing up. We're cooped up.
Uh, uh,
House is too
that
small.
That is absolutely beautiful. Alex Hormozy gave a really interesting statistic that the biggest predictor of long-term success is actually the zip code that you're born in. And
Mm,
I can send you a Harvard study about how the longer your kids are in a more affluent area, better schools, better access to a better lifestyle, the better they are to do in every other phase of their life. So you and your wife are really light years ahead and thinking of the future and thinking about what you want it to look like. Tell me a little bit more about price point. Where do you think you want to be? Give me a place to kind of start searching for you.
hmm. I haven't done the research.
Mm.
I could say I probably don't know. I don't have clarity on a lot of those things yet. But
That's great.
yeah, okay. Why is that great? You can help me with that?
Yeah. Well, that's the first thing is that it sounds to me like you can really focus on the best home, the best location for your family. You haven't already made those decisions.
Have not.
And yeah, and the more open-minded you are, the better off you are going to be. And so
Okay.
then I would go into questions like, well, are schools important? Is it important that you're within a certain mileage to anything else? What I'm trying to do is to
Sure.
narrow it down as much as humanly possible. And the more questions that I ask Curtis, the more Curtis likes me.
True.
And the deeper I can go into we talk about peeling the onion, right?
Yep.
Well, why is it important to you? Why do you think buying a property with land is important for your kids? And what do you think that that would do, for your family's long-term happiness? And the more that I can get him to talk about to future cast, to start thinking about where Curtis wants to be in the future, the
Yep.
faster I'm going to move Curtis down that. And the only
True.
way that I can do that is to ask question after question after question after question.
So let's pivot. When do you go for the close, Tracy? So like
Mhm.
you've gotten me curious. I'm
Mhm.
answering your questions. I'm definitely
Mhm.
liking you. How do
Mhm.
you how do you move me to the appointment? How do you ask? When do you ask?
Curtis, I've got one other question for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
If you're going to make this life-changing move for you and your family, do you
Mm-hmm.
want to sell the home that you're in currently first?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm not
Mhm.
sure what the best strategy is.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't I just run a market analysis, see what theoretically we might be able to get for your house, and we can talk about, if you need a quick sale versus if you give me a lot of time, because
Okay.
obviously I can usually sell it for more if we're not in a big
Yep.
hurry. And then in the meantime, I'll also do some homework on some different properties with the basic criteria that you've given me. I'll bring those over to your place as well. Will you and your lovely bride both be home around 6 o'clock this evening, or would lunchtime tomorrow be better for y'all?
I probably got to give her heads up. I bet
Mhm.
tomorrow lunch makes more sense for me. But so you're going to come by the house, look at the house, and we'll sit down and talk. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just have a
I'm up for
casual
that.
conversation. Perfect.
She'll definitely want heads up because we got to clean. All
Well,
right.
here's the good news, Curtis. You don't have to clean for me because I'm not buying your house.
Oh, there we go. All right, Tracy, let's plan it. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds great.
Awesome. All right, team. So, Tracy, thank you. And you can see I'm taking notes over here because I'm going to give you guys a little guide for the workshop. Like people are just people. They just, you catch them where they are. right? Like I'm in the middle of my day, I'm in the middle of my morning, Tracy's just being herself, we're just talking. That's all it is. And these situations are likely who's on your call sheet, your sphere of influence, an acquaintance you talk to. But here's a couple of key pieces, and then we're going to jump into the workshop fish in just about 3 minutes. Number one, ask more questions. If you thought you've asked enough questions, ask another one. Tracy gave you the peel back the 3 layers of the onion. Number two, build rapport if you don't already have it. If you do already have it, depending on the type of person, you might cut straight to the chase. You have 2 minutes for a business call. Tracy doesn't want to be on the phone for 20 minutes. Boom, she wants to set the appointment, go to coffee, and we're done, right? Someone else, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you, Jody. We haven't talked in forever. Ah, Derek, man, hold on, I'm super busy. What do we got? You're like, you just got to read them, and you got to decide, do you need to build the rapport or close for the appointment? You make some real-time decisions. So we're going to practice those. I'm going to give you guys a guide as we break out here. And while I set up this guide real quick, I'll drop a link in the chat. I'll give the link to Tracy. I'll give the link to Fish and Louisa. Whatever breakout room you end up in, we're going to give you a little guide. My favorite question, Tracy, which you basically asked me, is this is an appointment setting question, team. How much do you know about insert whatever topic you've heard them bring up? So how much do you know about the process of changing homes? How much do you know about the process of selling homes? How much do you know about what's going on with interest rates right now? So I dare anybody to ask, how much do you know on one of your calls, and see if that doesn't set you up for the, well, let's find a time to get together. Let me swing by and drop off that info. Let me sit down and show you on my laptop, right? It's a huge transition.